Okay, day one, there was a cancellation. Got through it, found another tattoo artist, got my tattoo done. That took 3 hours or 4. When edited, that took like 3 hours or 4. By the time I was done editing, the internet went out. Fucking internet. So I went to sleep for a little while, like 3 hours. Now I'm back up. Another cancellation has happened. Is it getting dark in here? It's getting dark in here. Let me just, So, now I have to find another person to interview on the fly again. But this time, I'm not getting a tattoo, so...
First time?
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Shouldn't be that long of a process this time. You see what I did there? Not that long a process, because the process, okay. So I've been reaching out to people all day, and I think I have a couple of people set up. First, I'm gonna hit up this tattoo place that's not too far from here. Hopefully they'll do an interview. I'm just gonna go in there, ask them if they're down. If not, then move on to the next thing. So that's what I'm doing now. Process, episode 2. What you're watching right now is me walking down the street, and I am talking, but I'm chewing gum, and that's a big no-no, and I didn't even realize I was doing it until I sat down and just started editing it now. So I'm just gonna tell you what's going on right now. I went to New Age Tattoos. They said yes. The gentleman named Jesse actually agreed to do the interview. Funny thing about that is that when you actually see the interview, you're going to see me interviewing Jacqueline, and you've probably seen some stuff about Jacqueline throughout the episode so far. Jesse decided that he was getting too nervous and he didn't want to do it, so Jacqueline took over instead, and it was a pleasant surprise because she's actually an amazing artist. Oh, so back to what's going on right now. I turned to a person in a car because they yelled to me. They're like, "Hey, are you a vlogger?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I yell out everything, standardless media, blah, blah, blah. And then someone else honks at me. And it smells horrible because it's like at the day after garbage day and all the garbage is out in Toronto. All the garbage cans, I should say. So that's basically the gist of all this. So sorry for chewing gum. It's so annoying. You don't even want to hear it. You don't even want to hear it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you a little sample. No, I'm not. Never mind. Because it's really annoying. Like, nobody likes hearing that. All right, so let's get back to the episode. So, can I ask you questions and stuff?
Sure you can. Sick. Do you want me to stop what I'm doing, or is it okay if I break down a little bit?
Yeah, you can break down.
So, what is your name?
It's Jacqueline.
Jacqueline?
Yeah.
I'm Colin.
I get.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just, yeah.
Yeah.
You can have a fist bump if you want. There you go. I'm like, I have gloves on still.
So, who are you and where are we right now?
We're at New Age Tattoo in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how long have you been tattooing professionally?
I've been tattooing for 6 years now.
6 years?
Yes.
Okay, and has it always been in New Age or?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All 6 years?
I learned
wow.
here. Yes, I did.
Were you an apprentice here?
I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long were you an apprentice here?
I had a pretty fast apprenticeship because I did my art first.
Because you're amazing, yeah.
That's basically it, because I'm amazing, that's why. So, I mean, everything kind of progressed over, like, there were 2 solid years, but everything was, like, really tattooing on people and stuff like that. Like, I had great people who let me, they're like, you can, I'm sure you can do it, it's fine. So they just gave me chunks of skin all over the place.
Wow.
I was pretty, like, my mom was my first person that I ever tattooed.
Your mom?
My mom, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when I started tattooing here, I was like, I need somebody to get tattooed. Mom, she's like, I'm on a train. I'm on my way.
Oh.
So she took a train up, and I tattooed her in the afternoon.
Man, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Did you guys cry?
No.
I would have cried. For sure. If my daughter was tattooing me, I would have been like, oh, man.
Oh, she was having a great time. We had
Best
to,
day of my
like
life.
tell her to sit still because she was telling stories and she talked with her hands. So the whole body was like shaking and everything.
What was she getting tattooed?
She was getting a drop spindle
Where?
on her thigh.
Oh, really?
Yes. My mom is an artist.
Yeah.
And mainly textile artist.
Really?
So she spins her own wool. She has her own sheep and all that. So.
Wow, DNA.
Yeah, it is.
It really goes.
It is in there.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Jeez. So, 2 years you were an apprentice. That's pretty quick. But I guess the person I was interviewing before, she said like it's all based on your progress.
It is.
She's like, if you can handle it, then like you go by fast.
Yeah, it is. It's really depends on who lets you do things and what they let you do. And
Yeah.
I not only did people give me skin, but they gave me big pieces of skin and said like play around. So like shading came pretty easy, lines came pretty easy. So it was just timing.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever mess anybody up?
Nope.
Jeez.
I'm knock on some wood right now, but no, I haven't.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been pretty. We did have like one. Wasn't my fault, but we did have one incident where the girl was getting her boyfriend's name, which we never recommend. It's not a good idea. But I asked her to double check the spelling so many times, and she double checked it, and then her boyfriend came in, and he checked it, and he like moved the tattoo. He's like, I want it more visible. It was like a great big sticker. It was like I just started tattooing like full time.
Yeah.
And so it was like on her thigh, and he was all finished. She goes to the mirror and he goes, "There's no W in my name." She's like, "What do you?" Like, we've been dating for 8 years. I know how to spell your name. He's like, "No, my name is S-H-U-N, not W."
Oh,
He pulls out his license,
no.
and sure enough, and she was convinced that he was lying to her just to mess with me. Yeah, no, it was the wrong name.
Oh my god. That's so funny. I was just telling
so
this
many
guy.
times.
Wow, that exact same thing happened to the last tattoo artist.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. With it was a woman and it was her daughter's name
Yeah.
on her, and like they checked, like she like asked her like triple check, like, is this it? Like as she went through the whole process, like,
Yeah.
this is good? This is good? This is good? It's
think
on your
what-
skin, this is good?
I think what happens though is you get so excited. You're like, I'm getting tattooed, and you're
I guess.
nervous and all of that, that you don't even really process what it is. Like you
Right.
ask and you ask and you ask, and it's
I
like,
guess.
nope.
That's so
Like,
weird.
you gotta hope that your tattoo artist can spell. 'Cause
Yeah.
I catch spelling mistakes almost daily.
Really?
Oh yeah. People bring that in. They're like, "This is what I want, but can you spell it properly?" I'm like, "No, can I? Do you trust that? I don't know." I just throw it in there.
That's crazy. Google's everywhere.
Yeah.
People would be spelling things wrong.
Yeah.
So then that's like what, 8 years that you've been at this location, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So out of the 18 years that this place has been open, you've been here almost half the time.
Yeah. Roughly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So what's the biggest change that you've seen in this place and the area so
Well,
far?
we revamped.
Really?
Yeah, a year ago.
Okay.
Alex and I went, it's time, we're gonna clear space up. So we used to have a big wall in this room.
Okay.
And we tore it all out. It used to be yellow. It's not anymore. don't like yellow. So yay to the gray.
Yeah, this is a little better.
Put a lot of artwork up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tattoo shops around now. Like when this place opened, it was one of the few places, and so
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
18 years ago.
Yeah, so like when it first opened, it was just in the front room, and then it expanded back.
Yeah,
Alex like built all of this up, and then we took that wall down just to make it more accessible. It's fun to get tattooed. Like it's weird when you're like in a little cubby and
cubicle. That's so odd.
Yeah.
It's like you get tattooed to break away from the cubicle.
Yeah, and it's fun if more than one person's getting tattooed. You know, you can sympathize with them. It usually helps people get through pain if they're watching another person. Like, it's like, yeah, I feel you, man. Like it just goes easier.
It does. It does actually. It helps a lot. Yeah. So, you were an apprentice. Like I want to work backwards. So before you were an apprentice, you were just an artist.
Yeah. You can say just an artist.
Well, no.
Yes, I was an artist.
But you weren't tattooing people. I mean,
no.
So where did it start? You were just a painter, drawing. Like how? I
actually wanted to be a tattoo artist from the time I was like 12 years old. I told my dad that. My dad was like, "All right, let's go to the tattoo shop," and they showed me how to make needles and everything. I have a really supportive family. Not everybody's that lucky.
Wow.
And then
that's crazy.
Because we grew up on a farm, I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll go to veterinary school." And my dad's like, yes, a doctor. And then I went, just kidding, I'm going to art school. And changed over to here. And he was like, as long as you get a degree before you do whatever, I'm cool with it. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
That's good.
So went to Ontario College of Art and Design. Did like as much as I could there, like painting, drawing. I was a textile designer for a lot of years. So I used to do like fashion shows with Sunny Fong from Project Runway, and we used to do like I used to write patterns. I still do from time to time, like knitting patterns.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's where you started?
That's where I started. Yeah, I guess that's my first
really, and then
it
grew from there.
I guess. I mean, I like making things, so I would do everything. Like I used to do murals even when I was in high school. I used to do murals in people's houses. Yeah.
In people's houses.
In people's houses. Yeah. There's some are still out there. They exist somewhere.
Wow, that's a real artist. This is amazing. So then, going from textile to drawing, painting, to tattooing, what's the same within each art form?
When I was doing like knitwear design, it was like it was a lot of it drawing based. So I put animals or things on sweaters, and I liked quirky things. Of course. A little weird, but so I would put things on sweaters, which I didn't realize how much that crossed over. But you end up like folding images across the body the way you do with a tattoo, because the tattoo's not flat, like it's on the person, so you have to adjust to like how the body goes. So you start to learn how to like wrap around muscles and accentuate muscles and things like that. And I find that in making clothing and stuff like that is very similar.
You have to think of the same thing.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's almost like the painting and drawing is like what bridged the gap.
Yeah, I guess it was. I mean, I was always a painter, a drawer, like all of that kind of stuff. I just did it since I was little, so it just seemed whatever like medium I pick up, I know I can do it. Yeah. With the drawing and painting, you just put it all together. It's fine.
Yeah.
You do change the way you work once you're a tattoo artist, though. Like you do find like when you draw a little differently.
Really?
Yeah. I find I build layers the way I would build it with a tattoo ink instead of just drawing like the way I used to draw, I guess.
Okay.
So you really high contrast now, like anything to like make it pop on the skin.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so like when you do that kind of drawing, it gives it like more depth, I guess you can say.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You also tend to shy away from like too neutral, because skin is a neutral tone, and so like you want something that's going to come out.
Yeah, pop out.
Like when I do more realistic stuff, I still try and give it like a background that's going to really throw it forward, because it just like same with like when I paint, I'll put a black background. That's like my preferred.
Yeah.
You know, just to make it come forward, because if it's on too plain, it doesn't show all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually did that with my first painting.
For no black?
Yeah, for no reason. Like I was trying to draw something, I'm like, I fucked up, and I just made it black. And then it made the actual, because I did it pink after, and it made the pink it made it pop out.
It does, yeah.
It was weird the way it worked.
High contrast. Anything on a white background versus a black background is going to show better on the black.
Yeah. So I just started painting. What advice can you give me? I just painted my first picture.
It depends on what you paint. when you paint?
I like when the texture sticks. Like, you know, when you use like molding gel or like pastes and stuff like that, glosses and stuff.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
I think the biggest, I guess, advice, if that's the word to use, is something my mom used to always say to me, is just draw what you see, not what you think you see. Because we take things in as like a big picture and we go, oh, okay, I'm drawing a cat, but really you're drawing like a fur and a cat. So you're like, everything has a little shape inside it. And when you build those little shapes together, you get the big picture. But if you get lost in the fact that you know what a cat looks like, you stop drawing it as you see. And like in real life, those things get cut off by your field of vision. So like when you draw what you see as opposed to like what you think you see, you get further in realism. In abstraction, it's more about composition. Like if you're going to abstract things, you want to make sure the balance is there. And then I usually recommend taking a picture of something, because you usually spot the problem like the second you take a picture or hold it up in a mirror.
Oh, actually take a picture of the picture? That's true, because
or if you like squint at it, you can usually go, oh, it doesn't show well because you're not following it.
True.
So yeah, with it, I usually like, if I was teaching a class, I would say that to like, I don't know, are you happy with it? Just squint at it for a bit. Like take a picture of it, hold it in a mirror. You get a totally different perspective.
Yeah, taking a picture definitely would change things, because then you start being more objective, I think. You start looking at it like a picture. You start pointing out things.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's your art piece, it's like, I'm good.
And sometimes it is a thing about contrast. And when you do those things, you notice when contrast is missing, because you're like, oh, I lost something in this area or something. It doesn't show as much. So it makes it easier to read.
Huh. That's amazing. Wow. I had no idea I'd be meeting such an accomplished artist. Jeez. Yeah, I just want to look at all this stuff. And this is mostly yours, eh?
Yeah, almost all of it. Just the girls are the only thing that aren't mine. Everything else is mine.
Oh, really?
Yep.
The skull too?
Yeah, the skull's mine.
See, that's kind of what I like. I painted it black and then I painted it pink, and it kind of did what it's doing there.
The small skull?
No, the bigger one.
The big one, yeah.
Like I made it like black underneath. I can't tell what's going on there because I'm not an artist, but like it started doing that.
Well, I think I had a similar run-in with that one, because I don't generally put color behind my stuff, but it was just not working, and so I just started like painting things over top of it until I was like, yeah, that's a good base for stuff. That's fine. And, like even some of it, I was like rubbing it off, like, ah, it's too dark. That's
exactly what I was doing.
Yeah.
It was really bad. It was just a heart. It was a white heart. It was actually exactly like that, but a heart in the middle.
Right.
I was trying to make it like have more like layers and stuff.
Yeah, you just gotta play with it. I mean, there's spray paint in that one. There's stenciling. Really? Yeah, if you look really close. But a lot of it, I like wiped it off, and I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be staining and that kind of effect, because it just wasn't going as smoothly.
Yeah. So when you make a picture, are you working with like all sorts of stuff? Are you working with spray paints, acrylic, like all of it together?
Usually it's acrylic.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff that I work with is acrylic. And colored pencil. Like the birds there, those pieces are all colored pencil.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, when I do like realistic portraits, like I have a Marvel theme going on right now, and all of those ones, like the Avengers, they're all in colored.
Oh, really?
But yeah, pencil color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So like, you know what? Can we do a walkthrough of something? Let's do a walkthrough of this, because I think this is gorgeous. This skull here. So like, how do you go about doing something like this? This skull in here.
This one right here?
Yeah.
This one was I was bored one day, and I had like a little canvas. I think there's actually a painting under that, and I was like, oh, this is no good. So I just started like throwing paint on it and squishing the orange around. Skulls are just an easy thing for me. I like skulls and birds. You can probably tell how much I like skulls and birds. So I started playing around with it. And the best way to make a good composition is just screw something up. So there's like a really big mistake hiding under there.
Oh, really?
Put some flowers over it. It's fine. Add a little skull. It'll be okay. But yeah, you just work with what you have. And
that's what was going on.
That's what was going on. It was like, to quote Bob Ross, like happy little accidents happening there. 'Cause, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta work with it. Sometimes it doesn't go. And other times you're like, I didn't want to scrap it because I was having a really good day. Like, you can tell as an artist, like when you're having a better day than others, and that one was just like the light was coming through on it, and I didn't want to lose it. So I was like, okay, I'll put some flowers and see what happens. And a lot of pieces get that, like, oh, just fix it with this, it'll be fine.
Yeah, you're describing it like a doctor.
Yeah.
You're like, I didn't want to lose this one. So I did some work, brought it back to life.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, that happens a lot. You're like, I gotta save it. I invested hours into it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you can't lose it, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay. That's a pretty cool one. So, I'm trying to paint, and I'm having trouble actually painting. What is your advice for someone to, like, just get started and, like, just do it and, like, stop procrastinating on it?
I'm one of those people that just do it. Like I said, I was bored. Like, you just push paint around until sometimes you don't even have an idea. You're just like, I'll start with, like, that's why the black canvas, and sometimes I'll put a black canvas and be like, oh, let me add a little bit of color here. And then as things move, it'll be like, oh, I have an idea, and I'll go from there. The other thing I do if I'm really stumped is I play the Wikipedia name game.
Wikipedia name game?
Yeah.
What is that?
That's my, like, trick to painting, I guess, or subjects. I just look around the room and pick a thing, and I'll type it into Wikipedia.
Okay.
And then I look at the blue words that come up on Wikipedia and click the first one that's interesting, and I just follow it until I go, oh, that's cool, and then it'll give me my subject.
Wow.
So that's how I get over artist block.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool for naming things too. You can put in skull, and then you start finding words that, like,
that or
drop
like,
down from it.
And
They're really interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
True. That's pretty cool. So just do it, basically, is your advice.
Yeah.
That's what I keep
There's no,
thinking.
like, magic button or anything like that. It's just pick up paint and...
Yeah, I gotta just do it.
And sometimes having it just accessible and out in the room is an easy way of doing it.
That's what I did. Like, right in the living room, there's this, like, big drop cloth and this easel. And,
Yeah.
I just gotta stop walking past it. I keep walking past it all the time. All right. You know what? Can we do, like, another walkthrough?
Sure, yeah.
Of just this one? Just because it's crazy?
The marbles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These marbles here. Let me just make sure these are in focus. See, when I see stuff like this, I'm like, what the hell? It's so weird to think that somebody can actually do this.
I think a lot of it is challenging yourself, though. I like a challenge. I make my life difficult sometimes. I pick the hardest thing I could possibly pick, and I go from there.
But yeah, that's the best way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, trying to make things difficult.
Yeah, you just got it.
myself.
That's exactly it. Pick the thing that has a million marbles.
Yeah.
It's gonna be my it's
Wow,
my mantra in life.
That's a good thing that has a million marbles.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm actually gonna say that. So how did you go about making this picture? Like, how did this come about?
I was at a vintage shop. I was shopping, and it had this really great jar of marbles at the counter, and I was like, "Oh, marbles are such a great thing." Like, there's usually a marble or two in my pieces. Like, they hide in there. I think they're fascinating. Painting glass is it's a challenge, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Well, I'll grab a few new marbles to add to my paintings, like when I set them up."
Of course.
And the girl, like, picked the marbles out of the jar, and I was like, oh, can I have this one that was in there? And she was like, oh, not this one. And she kind of threw one back in and smashed the jar, and all the marbles came out the side. Yeah, this is the picture of what she did. And I was like, that looks so great. Can I take a picture of it?
Wow.
So yeah, I painted it. And then I don't know if you remember this episode of The Simpsons.
I do.
Where Bart Simpson, probably most people do, right? Where Bart Simpson turns into a butterfly because nobody would suspect the butterfly. And it just kind of went from there. I was like, it was such an innocent little thing. So I was like, I'm going to put a butterfly in here because no one suspects the butterfly.
Wow.
Or like,
that's
the whole butterfly effect. It can go however you want to read it, but that's basically how it came to be. It was somebody accidentally broke the jar of marbles, and it was so beautiful that I had to paint it.
That's crazy. That's such a good thing. I like that you have 3 marbles. My favorite number is 3.
That's my favorite number as well.
Really?
Yes, most things are in 3s in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I try to do it too. I love the 3.
Yeah, at least an odd number, or like 3, 6, 9. That I tend to like jump in 3s when I work. Yeah.
Yeah, I like. I always go with 3 if it's anything. That's nuts. It's my numerology number, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, I liked it, and then like I typed in, like, my buddy made me do it because we were just like bored in the car.
Yeah.
And yeah, it popped up as 3, and then I did a personality test, And my buddy's like, he was going through them all, and I didn't tell him about this at all. And he's like, "You're a 3 for sure." He's like, "I just read it." He's like, "You're a 3." He's like,
Yeah.
"Definitely." And I was like, "Wow, sick." So, when it comes to tattooing, where do you draw your creativity from? Now I know you're a painter, so obviously, like, it's probably from everywhere. Probably from the painting. Probably from this, that. But like, where's the main thing that you usually grab it from, besides Wikipedia?
I would say a challenge still. Like,
Yeah?
Yeah. I like to make things really hard on myself, a million marbles. So like if somebody wanted to get a marble tattoo, that'd be amazing because it'd be so much fun. But yeah, I'm usually, I come from like a farm in the county and everything. So I usually gravitate towards animals. So if you ask me, if you were to say like, do anything you want, I'm going to pick an animal. Okay. I might even pick a bird because put a bird on it. It's fun that way. But I think nature is one of the prettiest things. Like you don't really have to expand upon it, but you can do so much with it. It's
That's true.
Flexible. I mean,
that's true. You can take it abstract, I guess, with nature, and you can go realism, I guess. Yeah. So, for anybody who's getting into tattooing or an apprentice right now, what would you give in terms of advice so they could like move through it?
Draw every day. Draw every day.
Every day.
Every day. Draw every day. I know it sounds like super repetitive. Like practice as much as you can. Fake skin's not the real thing, but like you do what you can with what you can. But draw every day and understand what you're drawing, because to be a well-rounded tattoo artist, you have to be able to do all the things. I mean, you can specialize in something, that's great. Yeah. But if you draw and you take everything in, that versatility will make you able to just take anything that comes to you and work with it. Especially if you're a walk-in artist. If there's a lot of trendy tattoo artists that are going on right now that they do one thing and one thing only. Okay. And they're getting into the business a lot faster because they're just doing that thing. But the trend will end someday. Yeah, you know, it's gonna have to go. So like, it has to. At least if you draw and you know, the more you draw, the more you learn how to see, and then you know how to make adjustments and build for the body. So like, it just has to be drawing every day. Like that's what I would do. I would come in here like when I was apprenticing. If I didn't have someone to tattoo, I would just draw.
Just draw.
I still draw every single day.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Every day. Eh?
Every day, something new every day. Try and do something that you've never done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That would be the best thing. Jeez. Every time I get that advice, I'm like, oh.
You're like, it's such a time-consuming advice.
Another one with this everyday nonsense. Yeah. Jesus.
Well, I mean, it's just like working out. You got to do it every day.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
There's no magic, button to all of that. But I would probably say the other big advice I could give would be to look at other people's work. Yeah. Like, really look at it, look at different artists, different styles, even if it's not one that you're not interested in. Just look at it and take it in. Like, Instagram's a great tool now where you can like pull from everywhere and be like, oh, I like this and whatever. But there's also a lot of artists doing live stuff that you can kind of see process a little bit. And
really?
I think, yeah. There's definitely amazing artists.
Like live on Instagram?
Yeah.
Really?
They'll do Instagram live as they're tattooing or as they're drawing and whatever.
Wow.
And stuff like that. And like, watch the videos and watch them do it, because they bring something new that you go, oh, maybe I didn't think of that. Even if you are a great artist, you don't have access to everything. You can't think of every idea. Yeah, but exactly. Somebody else has that whole database that you can tap into. And
just stand on their shoulders kind of thing. Yeah. True. Okay. So that's pretty cool. What do you think, where do you think tattooing, I don't want to say should go, but where do you think like it is going, and do you think it's going in a good path or a bad path right now?
I think it's forking. I think there's like really good and really bad. We have so much technology and we have so much available to us that we can do crazier and crazier, more realistic tattoos and stuff like that. And then we have super trendy. And I have no problem doing the trendy tattoos. It's fine. The problem with it is the trends end. So like, I think anytime you get into, you can only do that one thing, that's a problem. But then as far as getting tattoos, the biggest thing that people are doing more, and I appreciate that they trust their artists a lot more. They let them play a little bit. I mean, you're mostly a really good artist will know how to work with your body and work with your ideas. And like, you might have good ideas, but they have an artistic idea that can elevate that idea so much. So I think that's a really great direction that we do go. That
That's
like
good.
now people do talk to their artists more and like
Yeah.
find someone you like. You can go to many different artists and take from different people, but also if you find someone that you really drive with, like
It's always good.
see what they pick their brain, see what they have to come up with.
Yeah, that's true. Cause the person I was interviewing before, they brought that up too. Trust your artists. That's what she was saying. And like, I don't know why anybody wouldn't. Cause like for me, like I come into a place and I'm just like, what do you guys think?
But
it's like the smartest thing to do.
You're few and far between. We don't have a lot of those people. I mean, there's a lot that go, but I want this. I mean, it's the same with like watercolor tattoos or whatever. Done really well, it can be good, but like there's fading and you're like, it's gonna look like this. Yeah, that's fine. You're like, bold will hold. Just do that black line. Just let me put a black line in there.
Bold will hold.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Wow. So yeah, trusting your tattoo artist, eh? Oh, your mom was an artist, and you became an artist. So I asked the other person this too. What would you do if your kid wanted to be a tattoo artist?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Have at her.
Be super happy.
Definitely. I don't know if I'd be super happy. I want them to make their decision that way. Art is really in my family. My brother is also an artist.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My brother's an amazing artist. Sometimes he puts me to shame, I think. But
really?
Yeah, he's incredible.
Oh, that's why you work so hard. Rivalry.
We do compete.
Definitely, of course.
Mean, he calls me and goes like, "What do I do?" I do the same. We Snapchat is our best friend for working art out together. That kind of thing.
Wow.
But he didn't get into it right away. He has a degree in sociology.
Okay.
And he's a wrestler for Team Canada. So like he does all sorts of things. He's a superhero. My brother's a superhero.
Yeah, he sounds like a catch.
Yeah. So when he decided to go into art, I was like, yeah, that's totally you. So like we go different ways in it. I think he would like to become a professor, like a university professor of art.
Yeah.
Which I think he'd be really great at. But it's another branch of it. So I think just seeing how my mom reacted to us, and my dad too reacted to us being like, my dad he's one of those people who'll go showing people your artwork around and be like, did you see what my kid did? Like he's forever doing that.
That's cute.
So I mean, I think I would, if my kid did that, I would say the same thing. I'd be
why not? Pay it forward.
If they're good for it. My mom never pulled punches. If I did this shitty work, she'd be like, oh, Jacqueline, don't show anybody that. Like, she would tell me. She would call me on it.
That's good, though, right? Like, I mean, look what it turned into.
Yeah.
You got to get called on your...
Yeah, I used to bring her my drawings and be like, okay, I know the nose isn't right yet, but but other than that, what do you think,
Wow. It makes you raise your standards, right?
Well, yeah, it does.
Especially if your mom is... Because that's the one person that's supposed to be like, yeah, sure, it's nice. She's like, no.
She was never that person. She's always told me when things were actually good, but I know I can believe her because
exactly.
She would definitely tell me when things...
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, yeah, I guess art runs in the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What else as a tattoo artist? Is there anything that you have to say to the tattoo world or the world of people who are ignorant to tattooing?
I guess it's still like, as a tattooed person, there's still a lot of like, I didn't think it was going to be like that, but I get a lot of stares, especially in the summertime because I am fully tattooed.
Yeah.
We're not scary people.
Yeah, right?
I mean, it seems so silly to have to say it still, but like, I've been approached by people who have said crazy things to me, and I'm like, oh, they're pretty pictures. I don't know. Like, I have bunny rabbits on me. It's not I'm not a scary person, but they do react that way. I think it'd be more towards that. Aside from that, I think it's like a dream job. So I come to work every day and I'm like, oh, I get to draw pictures on people and stuff like that. And I hope that more people go and find the artists that love doing it. Because there are people who are not so great or not as passionate. Find the ones that are really passionate about it, because it'll get you a lot further and you'll get better tattoos out.